to the prophet to establish the faith of Muhammad kingdom. And said Moorish Science Temple of America adopted as its corporate name the following Moorish Science Temple of America. And at said meeting, this Afghan acted as presiding officer scribe sworn to before me the 23rd of July, 1928. UID, the murder of W. Camel, notary public. You are notary public. You are notary public is used when you need a legal preference on something. You know, you just in case they hear this, you get notified that this is the truth or this is what you're trying to be about. See hers. Now this is where you already take. This was created in Chicago. This organization was created. Although I want to say, 1913 AD. But that moment, yes, sir.
It's a question, well, not the one-on-one. Not the raise out.
So in the question it says that this organization was founded in 1913 AD. It was not the same organization. So in the question it says that this organization was founded in 1913 AD. It was not the same organization. So we created something and brought it to. We created something and brought it to a point where it cannot be challenged in any court. And gives us the right to do it right now. And demonstrate the old time victims, teach about the prophets and about themselves and journeys of man. So we have been blessed to demonstrate the old time victims, teach about the prophets and about themselves and journeys of man. So we have been blessed, I will say, for us to have been given such a quality of life above the life that we found ourselves. Because when I grew up Moors, this is a personal aside because my people told me that when you come into Moorish Science America, you have to make certain testimonies to let people know where you're at, how you've been doing. My grandma was cooked the documents. My grandsons and granddaughters are African Americans. My grandsons and granddaughters are African Americans. I'm wrong with that. Nobody can change the recent we've been given these names, but not only did they give us these names. Nobody can change the recent we've been given these names, but not only did they give us these names had personality and intelligence. The Negro didn't act like a color girl. The color boy ain't acting like a black man, and the African American sure ain't acting like what we had. You know? So we needed a platform to teach from. And the Prophet Ali established that thing, and he brought us a doctrine, and he brought us in law. And that's the thing that, like, I had to learn to hold the long heart with how to do things according to law. The man's law is a lot tougher than Allah's law, but all of it has all these are connected into what Allah has blessed it. If you act one way, you're going to get this. You act another way, you're going to get that. It ain't a punishment, it's how the law is structured. It's just like that. You know, we ain't punishment, it's how it's structured. Now, history of trip number 65 is going to be delivered to us by Sister L. for today. But I just came to give you a legal foundation of why we have each other today. This ain't something that the Moorish Science Temple of America just made up. You know, it's something that had a definite and a particular and a lawful foundation on it. Because you see this brother right here, he's got something that says that the cares of the world. It says, Noble Ali founded the Moorish Science Temple of America, 48th Street, Mount Clemens, Michigan. When we say, it says, what did that say? The foundation, what's that motto? The rock the man stands on. What rock is that? Understanding is the rock the man stands on. So this is the Prophet Noble Ali coming out the cares of the world, carrying humanity, which is all of us, although it's in the form of a woman. So this is the Prophet Noble Ali coming out the cares of the world, carrying humanity, which is all of us, although it's in the form of a woman. And he's standing up, we got to get some understanding here. The understanding is the Prophet of God is the message that he brings, and we have a lawful authority to teach everything to you today. Islam? Islam. So stand up, we got to get some understanding here. The understanding is the Prophet of God is the message that he brings, and we have a lawful authority to teach everything to you today. Islam? Islam. So hear the name, please.
that were given by our chairman, and I want to reiterate the honors that were given by our chairman, and I want to give everyone happy Charter Day. It is Charter Day. It's an important time in which we gain a charter so that we could have, we could perform our duty to be here and worship here and have, we could perform our duty to be here and worship here in the charter. It began a long time ago in 1935. And you can think back, 1935, that is a little ways back. My brother Jones Day, Jones the his version of Islam, and then in 1938, that was in 1935. In 1938, the his version of Islam, and then in 1938, that was in 1935. In 1938, but you know, it's one of the we didn't surveyor, there's no surveyor. To Kansas City to teach on this, and she informed Brother Jones the followers that they needed a charter line to be recognized by this government. Jill was talking about the reasoning of using or having to have a charter is very important. So this sister that shared bag told us that we are told was sent by Brother C. Perkins Day to tell Triple 65 that we need a charter. And in 1940, we had Sister B. Burton Bay and Sister M. Walker Bay. And, there are a lot of sisters here that are trying to teach this religion of Islamism. And Sister, she informed Jones Bay followers that they needed a charter. She and Sister Jones Bay followers that they needed a charter. She and Sister Burton Bay, Sister Walker Bay, were to the convention in Chicago to meet Brother C. Perkins Day. And then they returned to Kansas to the convention in Chicago to meet Brother C. Perkins Day. And then they returned to Kansas City with the authority to accept the Sister Sheriff Bay's assistance in setting up Temple 46. And during some of this time, Sister L. Blake Day and Temple 46. And during some of this time, Sister L. Blake Day had come to Atchison, Kansas to bring the teachings of Islam to her relatives there. And 47 had come to Atchison, Kansas to bring the teachings of Islam to her relatives there. And 47 in Atchison, Kansas. And you know how we Moors are sometimes, we have this time together. So sometimes, and you know how we Moors are sometimes, we have this time together. So one thing that the whole 46 the Sister Walker and members of Kansas City Fire. The Sister Walker and members of Kansas City followed Brother Jones Bay. And members agreed to buy some land and they 8 acres there. And you know how we are there were problems that were arising, and in 1956, 3 significant events took place. the 80 acres were paid off by Morris National Home number 2, and Sister Gladys got obligated to Brother C. Hurt Hill, and the sister then joined the temple and became Sister Gladys Hurt Hill. And that's a picture of Sister Gladys Hurt Hill right there on the wall.
The very first picture.
The very first picture, she is the first grand sheik is Temple 65. The sister became concerned. The very first picture, she is the first grand sheik is Temple 65. The sister became concerned about the lack of uplifting ideas and activity in the temple, so she began to become active in the temple. She began to make everybody aware of fallen humanity, and that's what we're about, right? We're about the uplifting of fallen humanity. However, collectively, it was a struggle to get through. You know how we are, Moors, we don't always, it was a struggle to get through. You know how we are, Moors, we don't always support each other. So she had a struggle, and so those members that were motivated began to study the Quran and build an understanding. And on October 30th, began to study the Quran and build an understanding. And on October 30th, 1956, Brother C. Kirkman Bey issued a charter establishing Temple 65. So this is where we first got our charter, 1956, issued by Brother C. Kirkman Bey. For Temple 65, and Sister Gladys Hurt Hill was elected as Grand Sheikess, and Sister H. Tillman for Temple 65, and Sister Gladys Hurt Hill was elected as Grand Sheikess, and Sister H. Tillman Bey was her assistant, and Sister H. Tillman Bey, we know her today as Sister H. Tillman Bey was her assistant, and Sister H. Tillman Bey, we know her today as Sister Florence Bey, and that's the second grand she's a picture that you really want there. The Sister Gladys Hurt Hill relinquished her position to Sister Gladys Hurt Hill relinquished her position to as a second grand sheikess of Temple 65. And around 1953 or 64, I began to build the temple, and they started building the Lord agreed to build the building and receive his money at a later date. He just needed the Lords to supply materials. But during this period, conflict arose, and the temple and members began so she set up to revive Temple 65 at that time. And in 1980, Temple 65 began to meet at and this was radically. And I our Page Bay and Brother B. Griffith Bay. And we know who Brother B. Griffith is. Okay, and convinced rehab building in Kansas City, Missouri. And so that was when Temple was over in Missouri for a time. In 1989, it was a grand opening that was when Temple was over in Missouri for a time. In 1989, it was a grand opening during my birthday. And in 1990, Temple 65 moved back to Kansas City, Kansas. So that was 88 and 89. 89 was over in Missouri and came back over in 1990 to Kansas City, Kansas. And in 1995, Morris National Home number 2, Sunday School. A brother approached Sister Jennings Bay and advising her about, a brother approached Sister Jennings Bay and advising her about governor of the at that time was able to take a band full of members to the convention each year for little to no cost. And this is something that we can think about for each year for little to no cost. And this is something that we can think about for the future, since we used to do it, did a band, Whole Family Fun Day, which continues to this day. And the current method of conducting a grand class was adopted during this period. And the chiefs agreed to have printed handouts at each class. So that's where we see ourselves today. We have our printed handout, and the institutional ministry participation increased at that time. This was in 1990 handout, and the institutional ministry participation increased at that time. This was in 1997 and we had regular public birthday celebration 97 and we had regular public birthday celebrations in 2006. Sister Day was the grand speaker at the time, and Brother T. Watson Hill, assistant, and from 2006 to 2000. Brother A. Anderson Hill took over at that time. And in September of 2011, Brother Anderson Hill was elected the Grand Chief. He served until his passing in 2012, April of 2012. And Brother Billy had finished out Brother Anderson Hill's term in 2012. So it happened then we had, let's see, what's I talking about? Brother Anderson Hill was in the temple, proclaimed his nationality in 1977, attended the Adept Chamber in 1981. He served as a mufti from 1981 to 1977, attended the Adept Chamber in 1981. He served as a mufti from 1981 to 2000. And from 1997 to 2012. So just to give him a little of his props, okay, for Brother Anderson Hill. So about
That's right.
right, you know. Brother. It is a blessing that we are here today. It is a blessing that we are here today. We know that Allah makes mistakes, and everything that
Original version was so long, the Moses said, Mo, can you trim it down?
Yeah.
All right, that's a trimmed down version. Praise Allah. Come on, Sister Franklin-el.
I give praises to Allah and honors to the Prophet.
All right, that's a trimmed down version. Praise Allah. Come on, Sister Franklin-el.
I give praises to Allah and honors to the Prophet. I was there. Is there any way we can get a copy of that?
Of the history?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I'll touch on that in a second. A couple things actually. The part about it that we want to make sure we understand is that there are some parts of it that we had to leave on the cutting room floor for time's sake. But I want to go back and fill in a few blanks because some of it is important enough to I want to make a point about it. When more science temple teachings were brought to the United States, enough to I want to make a point about it. When more science temple teachings were brought to Kansas City, specifically Kansas, because there was none in Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas. It was brought by Brother Jones Bay, not tied to the Brother Jones Bay, who's the Grand Chief and Moderator now. Just make sure that's clear. But Jones Bay had studied underneath the prophet. And so much so that this brother, when he brought a bunch of members out of the state of Michigan. And the brother had, back in the day, we don't really give props to the prophet drive well enough because our history. And the brother had, back in the day, we don't really give props to the prophet drive well enough because our history is not. I mean, I know our history is not. I mean, I know. So that's why every year we do this because all the audience never heard. If you hear it one time, so your conscience, you may not the member, visitors, guests, whoever may be. The other is they go back to John's Bay. The prophet was teaching was so high, his teaching was so high, down because you read the literature about how he had to give and going out and beat him, right? Beat him over the head with it. But the other part was he was teaching high science. High science. They call it it was a Sunday, 8th of August picnic out on National Home number 2 every single year. Back when there was Moors there. You remember? You've been to it. And so, but the sister told when she was a child out there, they grew up to talk to animals. He taught a lot of stuff. There's one historical, it's a part of our verbal tradition about when the Moors had a parade in Chicago and it began to rain. Brother Kirkman Bay got off the Moors had a parade in Chicago and it began to rain. Brother Kirkman Bay got off the bus was a school bus, right? Mm-hmm. The regular was walk, right? So it began to rain. So the Brother Kirkman Bay got off the bus, raised up his hands, and said some words, and it stopped raining on the side of the street where the Moors were. Right. Eyes. She was up in age when we used to gather around like this on the 8th of August, and she would tell the history of Moorish National Home number 2, and included the history of Kirkman Bay because he used to come out there and stay months at a time. So he had a monthly meeting. Right? Monthlies, if you haven't heard of them, tell it to you, right? Because this is her first-hand account told to me. So I'm telling you, I can't get no better because I can't go dig this. If you haven't heard of them, tell it to you, right? Because this is her first-hand account told to me. So I'm telling you, I can't get no better because I can't go dig the sister. Okay, praise out, right? I can't channel, right? So said that he had a monthly meeting, and he told these. If you were strong enough, stay out here with me. But if you're not, go in the building. Go in the house. Because they had houses out there. And he stood out in the yard. Stay out here with me. But if you're not, go in the building. Go in the house. Because they had houses out there. And he stood out in the yard. And the monkeys were, I guess, in the road or something. How they know how the monkeys do. And he's told it rained every single day until they got nervous and let him out. Right? Why am I sharing that with you? So not because of that part of the history of Temple 65, but because the prophet taught high science, right? And what we do is that we have lowered the vibration of what he taught to now we don't even remember it. So the point I'm making is that we need to teach our own history. We need to teach this to these little ones, these babies right here who grew up in the temple. Y'all heard it how many times now? Too many, so many, right? They grew up in the temple and so they've heard it before. Their sister heard it before. Too many, so many, right? They grew up in the temple and so they've heard it before. Their sister heard it before. You have to get it early to get a seat, right? Temple's full. But when we don't practice these teachings, then we get sluggish in our. But when we don't practice these teachings, then we get sluggish in our attendance. We get sluggish in our. But a lot of persons we're not applying the teachings. And so yes, then when some storms come in people's lives, or he looked at me wrong and all that, then you go off back to the church wherever you came from, back out in the street. That's telling the truth. You know I'm telling you the truth. You know what I'm saying? he looked at me wrong or something, whatever. You know, some brother, you get it. My point is that we have instituted is to, and every sheik on that in the 80s, that's 2000, early 2000s, late 90s, I can't recall. But my point is, no, it has to be the 2000s. And we instituted every sheik pay $25 a week or $100 a month if you are working. If you are not working, pay as much as you are able. That's how we got the van. That's how we paid for this building, right? This building is paid for free and clear, right? But a lot of those old soldiers are gone now, right? Anderson Neal's gone now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the Moors who were sheiks then don't do what they used to do. I'm just calling you out. So you understand that it's important that everybody put their oar in the water. So right now we're going to have this is a happy event, but I want us to understand that the Moorish Science Temple of America is built upon everybody doing their part. It doesn't matter how small your part is, just do your part. I can't do it all, Griffin Bay can't do it all, and none of us can do it all the work themselves. Anything. But it's important. $20 to help maintain it. You've already done the work. Now you need some help. Before Griffin Bay and Little Bay and Page Bay and all the rest of the Moors that came, there was only we had dwindled down to 3 people. So it's Torrance Bay, who was Jenny's Bay at the time, myself, and Brother Anderson Neal. That was it. Now I share that with you to encourage you. To those who are under my voice, who may be on Zoom, who are maintaining a charter or trying to keep a temple doors open, you must have your meeting. Who are maintaining a charter or trying to keep a temple doors open, you must have your meetings because help will come. We just kept on having meetings. It was just the 3 of us, right? Then my wife would come, but she was really the member at the time, right? So it was only 3 members, but we held the doors open. Temple 65 is rose and ebb and rose and ebb again. But we try to keep these temple doors open. So keep that in mind, boys. Do your part. If you're not a member of Temple 65, you're a member of some other temple. You can't do it all. Just put your oar in the water and do your part. And Allah will bless you for it. I love every one of you. Thank every one of you for coming out. I know what I want to let you know that have courage. Because we tell our history. We encourage Temple number 8 to write their history down. Because if we don't write it, we're going to forget it. And that was a point I brought up about Kirkman Bay and Jones Bay. Because that's in our history, but we don't know that history, so we can appreciate the work that was done. Because some sisters had to come and say, hey, this brother ain't the prophet. Y'all got following the wrong path. This is the true prophet of Drew Ali. And all those members of one of Jones Bay came into the movement, and they eventually became members of Temple 65 to help us get our charter. Praise Allah. Islam? Praise Allah. Peace. All right. Love y'all.
Love you too.
Great again, praise the great God Allah, and all the prophet of Drew Ali. We are coming to the conclusion of this event. There's a small change on the thing that was handed out where it says the one would be read by Brother B. Griffin Bay, the one would be read by the Grand Governor State Captain. Jesus, one and one. Thank you, everybody. And welcome everybody to take part in what's coming next, because this is and welcome everybody to take part in what's coming next, because this is a very historical event for us. And welcome everybody to take part in what's coming next, because this is a very historical event for us, and we try to make it right for everybody. Islam. Call that advice to call all issues and all of you and we'll call the Grand Governor State. That's what you made.
Thank you. We praise Allah, give honor to all those who honor to Islam. Prophet warns all Muslims, governors ought to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans and cause confusion. Remember, your card is your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We offer love, truth, peace, and freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member is filled toward the temple of the prophet, or of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn their cards, button seats, wearing their turbans or fez, and return to the state why the prophet found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Double Draw Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore sending out divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sin, protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace.
Islam, Brother Phil Bay. Did you, was...
Not announcement yet, sis.
Oh, okay.
We are, at this time, we'd like to have a reading from the Lord's Grand, the Most High Temple of America. Reading from chapter 48. Here's the time for the prophecies, instructions 10 and 11. From all ye Asiatic Americans here to choose about the nationality and birthrights because you're not Negroes. Turning your forefathers ancient and divine creatures, people of the love to the hate. We are trying to uplift and follow humanity. Come and link yourself to the family nations without all true and divine prophets. At this time, we'd like to know any announcements.
I did have one.
It's I'm ready to toss it.
I just want to know, Sister Heard. Yeah, wasn't that sister? The mother, we call her the mother of Kansas, Sister Torrance Bank. Sister Heard, isn't that her mother?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Give it back.
It's not. First of all, we're not taking up Quran class collections for anyone who's willing and able to donate. It's not. First of all, we're not taking up Quran class collections for anyone who's willing and able to donate. Please donate. Second of all, we would like everyone to step aside, and I like all able-bodied.
Next couple. Okay. It's not Moors. Brother Cornell Farrakhan Bay. Members of Temple 65 know him. He transitioned about a week ago, right? A text message went out. His funeral is going to be on Tuesday at 10 o'clock at Elite Funeral Chapel. Now, why am I sharing that? It's because it's in the middle of the week. I know a bunch of y'all going to be working and doing whatever. But I'm taking time off. They asked me to do the service. If you are available in Kansas City, if you are available, please come and give me some assistance in helping him, his family, give that brother a good Moorish funeral. If I got to do it by myself, I'll carry the water. But I would prefer some Moors assist me if they're able to do so. Praise God. It's going to be in the morning, 10 o'clock. I'll send all the other information out to you. It becomes available to me. But the brother he would come faithfully, and we all know him. He had something going on. He would always donate to every single activity. Right? And the brother was deaf. And he made if that brother could come to the temple deaf, some of us can get up off our behinds and put the game on the court and make it to the game, make it to the temple. Praise God. So my point is that he was a good brother. He always showed up and always helped us with every event we were given. So let's give that brother his props. Praise God. Please.
There are more announcements.
Yes.
Any more announcements? There's no more announcements. The announcement section is going to be closed. I would personally like to thank all the divine ministers in here who've been in the road and on the track with us over the years. Some of us have 30, 40, 50 years of service, and I thank you for your continued service. Islam? Without any more announcements, I'd like those if there's any statements.
I got two.
Thank you.
I want to let the Moors know that Brother J. Valiant Bay is still in nursing care, and if you have time, I know the Moors are out of town. If you have time to go see the Moor, I'm sure he would appreciate it. And also, Brother Young Hill is also in rehab So go see him if you have an opportunity. If you can't, just give him a buzz. I'm sure he would. I'm sure he's on the call right now. I'm sure he would appreciate it. Peace.
Any more statements?
Just a question, Brother Robinson Bay.
Oh, thank you. Brother T. Robinson Bay, not Brother R. Robinson Bay. We got two Robinson Bay, right?
Yeah.
Brother T, thank you. Brother T. Robinson Bay, who was in a severe car accident here in Kansas City. He doesn't live in Kansas City, but they stabilized him, they transported him back to St. Louis, and where he lives in the suburb of St. Louis someplace. He works on Sundays, that's why you don't see him a lot. And but they had to do some follow-up surgery. That he came out of that well. He's got a long recovery road. Because it was a terrible accident. Right. So send some thoughts and prayers out for those three brothers. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Are there any more statements? Okay, if there's no more statements, just table now is going to have our close. All rise, please. For those who are not members and don't feel to pray with us, to stand in silence, please. For those who do care to pray with us, to stand with two on our left, two on our right, five on our left, Islam?
Islam.
Oh, y'all are how much branch of Islam?
Islam.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Peace. Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
God.
Truth. Peace. Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector. My God.
My salvation. My night.
My Lord.
My day.
And my day.
It was holy prophet.
It was holy prophet. Joy.
Amen.
Amen.
It's not gonna have something in the seat, please take it out.
The greatest, Allah is the greatest. He's the greatest.
Islam can add all the more stuff.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
You still laughing? No, I'm not. I'm laughing because you.
Get your picture, baby.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Islam, more. Islam.
We got to go. You get my purse.
We're gonna get out y'all way. Definitely gonna get out y'all way.
Islam.
Fussing at us.
Yeah.